It's already been a chaotic offseason for the New Orleans Pelicans. They fired head coach Stan Van Gundy after just 1 year, and there's a story that some family members of Zion Williamson want him to lead the franchise. There was already speculation that Zion could have his heart set on the New York Knicks. After Chris Paul and Anthony Davis left the franchise, there has to be fear that the current franchise player could end up doing the same thing. And add to the fact that the franchise is only committed to the lease in New Orleans through 2024. So the Pelicans might not even be in Louisiana that much longer. That's why this offseason is very important. Progress has to be made for this team. Outside shooting and defense were the two issues with the team last season. They need to address at least one of those areas with this pick. With the 10th pick in the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Moody from the University of Arkansas. The Pelicans need outside shooting, and Moody can provide that. He has the game to take this offense to the next level. He averaged around 17 points in his freshman season, mostly as a spot-up jump shooter. But he did show signs he could be more than that on offense in the future. Moody has excellent size at 6'6", and has a massive wingspan for a guard at around 7'1". Pelicans will be lucky to get their hands on this guy, who could end up being the best shooter in the class. And he lacks the explosiveness you need to consistently get by your opponents off the dribble. But his length allows him to play the passing lanes well and has a chance to be a plus defender with more time. With the 34th pick in the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Rico Prakasha from Croatia. Prakasha is a 3-level scorer, no doubt about it. Versatility is the name of the game right now, and Prakasha certainly brings that to the table. He's been playing professionally since the age of 16. He actually led Croatia to an under-16 European Championship game where he won MVP and a win. Prakasha certainly has a lot of experience playing against good competition. He's been able to be effective scoring off the ball and on the ball. He has a nice handle for his size and can break you down off the dribble. He uses a lot of spins, head fakes, and good footwork to keep the defense on their heels. He can take advantage of big men with his handle and quickness, and he can also take advantage of smaller players by posting them up, and he's very smart off the ball and can be a headache for a defender to keep track of. Prakasha is also athletic enough to go above the rim, and he can easily catch you slipping. He improved his outside shooting as he shot 35% from 3 this past season on 3 attempts per game. Prakasha plays hard on defense, and you could see him being a solid defender with more time and experience. With his age, I could see him being a draft and stash prospect if the Pelicans select him at this spot. With the 40th pick in the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Primo from the University of Alabama. He's a very young and talented prospect, and he's more of a project than anything. The Pelicans need shooting in the worst way, and Primo was a good shooter in his 1 season at Alabama. He was a 38% three-point shooter, and he knocked down 3 or more threes in 8 games. Primo has good size for a 2-guard, standing 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan, and has solid athleticism. NBA scouts know he can knock down the outside shot. But in the scrimmages at the NBA Combine, Primo showed he was very comfortable with the ball in his hands and has potential to be a solid shot creator in the future. Primo didn't get as much playing time as he would like, playing behind upperclassmen like John Petty and Javon Quarterly. But when Primo played, you could see the potential he had, and he's still only 18 years old. Primo plays solid defense at Alabama, and with his work ethic and size, he could be a solid defender in the NBA. With the 43rd pick in the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Ariel Washington from Germany. This is a physically gifted big man that has the mobility and skills to be an impact player in the future. Even though he's not close to being a finished product, he can come in right now and bring a major defensive presence in the paint and make a living rim running and catching lobs off pick and roll. He displays solid handles for a 7-footer and has the quickness to get by his defenders when he's facing up to the basket. Washington needs to work on his efficiency from the field. As a big man, He only shot 41% from the field this past season. That's not even good for a player who mostly plays on the perimeter. It's even worse when you're a 7-foot big man who scores a lot in the paint. Even though he could come in and make an impact right now, it's probably better if he could stay overseas to refine his game more. It'll be better for a team like the Pelicans also, because Steven Adams and Jackson Hayes will get the majority of the minutes at the center position, and I'm sure even Zion will get some run at that spot as well. With the 53rd pick in the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Juwan Bergaraan from France. Him along with Ariel Washington are strong candidates to stay overseas for a year or two before having a chance to play in the NBA. Bergaraan is an athletic combo guard who has great size for both positions. He stands at around 6'6" and has a wingspan of almost 7 feet. There are some small forwards in the league that don't have that kind of length. By his measurements alone, he will be an intriguing prospect. He uses his strength and athleticism to get most of his points at the moment. Bergaraan competes hard, can play above the rim, and flourishes in the open court because of his speed and athleticism. Even though he has potential to be an all-around scorer, he doesn't really have a great feel for the game. Bergaraan needs to really work on his decision-making, and he's not a legit threat from the outside at this point in time. He's still raw as a prospect, and if the Pelicans were to draft Bergaraan, there should be no plans to add him to the roster right now. Let him stay overseas for the time being, and let his game develop a little more before signing him to an NBA contract.